Hello everyone, we're back and we're still at the hospital. Got a bunch of people that we've met now. Yeah, Thomas Elwood, he is the guy, he's a soldier. Thelma Howcroft, who thinks she's a vampire. Crazy, right? We're just going to sort of wander around a little bit more. See who else we can find. I want to read the... Milton. It's fine. We also need to find our office. Have we spoken to you? We have not. Hello, new person.
Good evening, nurse.
We're trying to get to know everyone.
I don't think we've been introduced
as best we can.
My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr.
Just because it seems to unlock dialogue with everyone else, but
well,
also...
it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
If we need to eat them later, it's good to know stuff about them. Anyway, your life in London. How's it going?
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Okay, she's looking right at me. Hey, look at my cat. There we go, thank you.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse?
I mean,
What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Well, let's hope not, eh?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Okay, that's a lot more gentle
I'm
than
exhausted.
the... Get a grip!
No one has any
prompt.
idea when this epidemic will be over.
That's fair. I mean, hey, very real. How's everybody doing?
How is the Pembroke staff
having a good
coping
time
with the epidemic?
Well, not well.
We also
Milton,
know,
the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual.
and also selling guns.
Especially concerning doctors.
We have also learned that there was a guy that we could have eaten. We didn't eat him, but he seems to be the leader of a gang, a nearby gang. So we'll see if it was a good idea to leave him alive or not. Maybe having the gangs on side would be a helpful thing in the middle of an epidemic of both the flu and vampires. What's up with him?
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Sure. Okay, well that...
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know.
See what I mean?
Just
We
ask
unlock
him.
things
But be
about
warned.
people.
Milton is not the chatty type.
I mean, I've already spoken to him, and he was more than happy to
How
chat to me
long have
and
you
sell
been
me
in
guns.
this?
So.
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You would be surprised. So this Y comes up sometimes, and normally when you have options, I've noticed that you can basically say whatever you want, but these ones usually mean you get one or another. I wish I could see what I was actually going to say. This feels rude, but also accurate. This feels vain and arrogant, but this feels defeated. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try not to be rude and hope it'll be like the get a grip was a second ago.
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins.
Okay, no, it's ruder than I wanted it to be.
Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
That's fair. So not wanting to give a pep talk is absolutely fine, but like, you
Goodbye,
have to
Nurse
hope.
Hawkins.
Though the hope is in the words of Ted Lasso, it's the hope that kills you. But I don't think that means don't hope. Okay, Pippa Hawkins. Oh, a lady in a room. We can go in that room. Who are you?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but
So
I
it's
could
important
not
to get to
dare
know
to
everyone
believe
we
we'd have
can.
such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
People aren't called Thoreau anymore. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's still an interesting name. Where does it come from? Tell me about
Please,
your
could you
name.
tell me something
Where does
about
Thoreau
yourself?
come from?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed.
Oh yeah. Well, how
I run
about
my
this
own
blood
experiments. I'm
transfusion?
convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me.
Oh, we got a fanboy.
I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
I'll be glad to help you.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn.
Encouraging.
I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Doctors in science, that's how you beat.
I based my
Sickness.
technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge
Saying
is the
take
main
risks,
weapon
that's what
against
you
the
say, I
ravages
think
of this epidemic.
Yeah. What do you think about the plays?
What can you tell me
Do
about
you
the
like
Penrod?
it? I
Well,
made
it has
myself.
always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of
But
a
with your
better
arrival, that
opportunity
guy
to learn about blood
sucks.
transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic.
Unlike Pippa
It's a
back then.
rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
Yeah, I believe in it.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have
Was
vanished.
he
Do you want me to play
or did he
the
get sick?
errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see.
I could also.
Well, give me the
eat
address,
him,
for I
if
may
necessary.
pass by if I have time.
Alright. A new citizen investigation. Ooh. So he's got the one talked about Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Strickland's got missing ingredients, and she's got wrong target. Find out who's spying him. So okay, I like that there is like a Holmesian aspect to this. So it's not just hey, vampires are everywhere and it's crazy, but it's also
Tell me
like,
more about your willingness to experiment
that I
with
do that
new
every time.
medical techniques.
Harvey
Tell
Fiddick
me
is
more.
a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him
But yeah,
if not treated
I like
correctly.
that there's like a
I'm
mystery
convinced your blood
aspect to it
transfusion
rather than
technique
just
could
like
help him.
you're
What
a
is it
vampire,
you
go
really
eat
want?
people and kill.
To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me it.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But
But
why would he
actually,
hide
it was
such crucial
a
information
big
from us?
Because he is a proud
Possum.
father. Ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Alright, well when
This
I talk to him, who
personal
is clearly that guy at the back
could
there,
also appear to
we'll
be
find
a
out.
lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
There's a
I agree.
balance.
But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior.
You wanna
a man who did not even take
Keep a
time to
distance,
converse with his
I
patient.
think.
Do you
I
think keeping
this
his
is
distance
opinion.
was a
I'm not a
mistake?
doctor
All
or a
I know
surgeon.
is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes,
But
and fears.
that, like,
Not
you
some
need to remember that
biological
people-
machine comprised
I
of
think.
blood, bones, and flesh.
I think. I could be very wrong, though. That might be worse than anything. Don't take anything I say as any kind of advice.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
If you are a medical professional, for I am not one. Dorothy Crane we've spoken to, and there's Harvey. So you must be the doctor
Good
we
evening,
talked
sir.
about.
I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly
You
Ackroyd.
look both
Welcome
86
aboard, I
and
suppose.
12.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Cool. Do you have a problem with me?
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd,
We're gonna
please
fight.
feel
'Cause
free
I promise
to
you
tell
I'll
me.
win.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice.
He's the
The
administrator, that's his
benefit
job.
of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've
I'll
never
win you
met
over.
before,
Or I'll kill you, one of
but
the
I
two.
believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Alright, you look. No need for such animosity.
There
We'll
is
be
no
nice, we'll be
need for
polite
such
about it.
animosity between us.
If
Don't
it
you
gets
think
pushing,
the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
it's time
That
to chow
is
down.
one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Tell me about that.
Since your
Tell me about your
tenure
life.
in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me.
Oh, okay, you're one of those
I've
people who
always
seems to
respected
think
the skills of
no
Dr.
one else is
Swansea.
capable.
But over time, his enthusiasm
Yeah.
has become displaced.
I love it.
Carelessness. Exactly what
I'm the only
are
one
you
doing
talking
anything.
about?
We're
Everyone
here
else
to
is
save
not.
lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical
Yeah,
research.
sometimes you gotta
Modern
just,
medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Fair.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of
Tell
Dr.
me.
Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory.
I imagine that was
Now
going to
that,
be your
sir,
opinion.
is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead it?
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery
So
is
it's
a
one
failure.
of those things, isn't it? It really should be up to the patient to decide.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Because then
Rivalry?
it's the
I guess you
decision.
could call it that. But I will never
Oh,
be
but
childish
then
enough to let my
that's what I was
personal
going to say.
feelings affect
Because
my
then,
judgment.
like, the consequences, they know the consequences going in, and so if there are consequences, like,
It seems you have
they
bad
bear that.
memories of
They're
your
ready for
military
that.
service.
Well,
I
never ready
refuse
fully,
to
but
see
like
this
that.
industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money? Fame?
It's
Or are
blood.
you truly
bleed.
dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
This guy.
I only want you to admit
going the
you
right way for a
used
faggot.
those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr.
And we will
Reed.
help as best we can.
Thank you for your
I'm
time.
gonna bite him later.
We'll talk later.
Hey, Mr. Fiddick, what do you think about your potential surgery? How do you feel? You're
Good
the
evening,
only one that
sir.
really matters here.
I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see.
Yeah, what
Would
what
you mind
happened to
telling
you?
me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about
who are you?
yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a
do
regular
you
guy
do?
waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too.
Okay.
But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Are you
Well-
happy with your wash?
It's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness,
Sure.
but you seem
Middle of an epidemic,
overwhelmed by
not great.
cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In
One of
other
them does.
circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility.
Because I'm
My
busy
apologies.
being a vampire.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had
Famous
professional
carpentry
arguments with
rivalries.
rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Alright, why do you feel guilty about it?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
Stop shouting at
Why
people,
do you feel
Reed.
so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
like you weren't, sorry, did you voluntarily hurt yourself?
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't
Right.
work until my arm is fixed.
Beating yourself
my
up
children
over it
need
is-
to eat, Doctor.
Beating yourself up over it is just
How could your
very
job be responsible for your
unnecessary.
wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Crikey. Alright.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Woohoo. Anything else to talk about?
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915.
Okay, that's not
I
the
was
way
in
to...
the army. Building
Tell me more
workshops for
about
the
the
Royal
death of your
Flying
wife.
Corps. Helen was how
All
I
the
wasn't sent to
intricate
the front.
details.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after
That
losing
does
their
sound-
mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
That's true.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Oh, don't call them bleeders. Otherwise, I might just...
Tell me
Eat
about
them.
your injury, Harvey.
My wife died because of...
I don't know why it looked like I could talk more around that. Okay,
Goodbye
goodbye.
for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You haven't made it clear to me which would be better for you, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what you need. Oh, who are you?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you
Oh,
here?
you've
then?
been...
I don't want to talk. My
Something's
throat
happened
hurts
to your
too
neck,
much.
isn't
I
it?
suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your
Is it
name?
her at the back there?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
And who is
How painful
Mortimer
is your
Goswick?
throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate.
Talk to me through
sir.
the pain.
Would it
Mortimer.
help if I gave you some
What's
paper and a
difficult
pen?
about that?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe.
Is that philosophical?
But I don't
Or is
want to
that, like,
talk
are we
or
being
even write
metaphorical,
about
or are we
it
talking
now.
about...
How painful.
So painful.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm alright.
No, I'm gonna talk to you again,
Good
actually.
evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Talk to you about personal questions. Tell me who you are.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
At
I
length.
don't want to talk,
In
Doctor.
detail.
I have to go now,
Mortimer.
sir. But don't...
Good evening, sir.
Are you here helping
Good
him?
evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
That's why he said...
How
yes or
can
no.
I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed?
I was just over
I've
there.
heard
You
much of your
witnessed
talents
me.
as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs.
Morty,
Not
I'm
much to
talking to
say.
your mum, mate.
Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
What are you doing in your
Really that
life?
rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if
believe
you
this is
have an
pre-NHS.
occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Cool. Solid.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations
Also, I
about
was
this
going to make a
hospital
comment about the
since we
fact that they were in a
arrived,
little private room.
but we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in
Tends to only
particular
happen-
that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Who
Tell me
rude?
more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was
Oh,
quite
Milton.
rude, for a start.
Sure.
And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
Okay.
What do you
toss
mean?
them both.
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a
told them both.
relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Though I don't know.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering
That's
the urgency of the
shady.
situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such
Yeah, but,
behavior
like,
would not
trying
be
to make a-
tolerated in other hospitals.
Trying to make a little side cash during an epidemic, not great, not ideal. Okay,
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I'm gonna go find. Where is she? Where is she? Not Crane. Hawkins. I need Hawkins. He's got fatigue, bless him. Oh, right, it's just sat down. I was like,
I will
why?
not let you down, my boy.
There you are, Hawkins.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Why are
Good
you
evening, Dr.
charging
Reed.
people for beds? Oh, I don't get to.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
That's annoying. Maybe Milton? Yeah. Thank you. I'm definitely in the middle of
Good evening,
investigating
Milton.
something.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Yes.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them.
What a
Nobody
rude
knows the
question.
horrors I've seen since working here.
What a
This
rude
city was
question.
sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed.
Sure.
Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
All right. Well, I'll
Goodbye,
leave it to it, Milton. While I want to talk to Hawkins about it, but for some reason I can't, and that's irksome. Prevent disease. We've seen that one already. Wait, there's another Oh, hang on a minute. Reading.
It's locked, all right.
A long letter. Hello, sis. How are things in the big city? Here in Brum, things are not so good. Seems like the flu is here again, and we have many new cases of infection in the neighbourhood. Do you remember Miss Sheller, the old drinking hag from 3rd floor? She passed away 2 days ago, and her flat is already occupied again. I'm hopping between like 3 different accents here. Geez, you would have to pay me a huge amount of money to go sleep in the bed in which a woman died of the flu just a few hours ago. Sorry I did not take time to quickly answer your letter. Between taking care of little Paul, Mum and Dad, and my job at the factory, I really find time to write me to my favourite sister. By the way, my son says hello to his auntie Pippa. You should see the little bugger, already driving me mad. And Mum says you bring back home some of those marvellous cakes next time you come back home. In your last letter you told me you thought about quitting your job at the Pembroke Hospital. I have to tell you, Pip, you better think twice. There are always jobs at the factory, but wages are shit. And it's as boring as a day without the shag. Oh, I have a new fiancée, and no, I'm no slutty moral bitch. So, if you really want to quit and do something more useful than counting the dead every morning, maybe you better stay in London and join that band you told me about, the Guard or Priven, something like that. Never heard of them. But if they are, like you said, some sort of civil militia trying to make a difference, then maybe it's a good choice for you. Just be sure to let the others go in front. That's how my poor Billy got killed in France. By leading too many patrols. Bloody war. Anyway, come back as soon as you can and give me all the good news before that. I am your affectionate sister, Lucy, Paul, Mum and Dad. So Pip's... We're finding out a lot about Pip.
It's locked.
Are we going to be able to, like, pick locks at some point? Is that a thing that we're going to be able to do? Do we think? Do we reckon? Oh, where am I going? Where am I going? I don't know. There's the lady who thinks she's a vampire. Okay. There he is. There's a person we haven't met yet. Hello.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Oh, I found myself looking at an investigation site. Hello.
I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana.
And yet you're wearing a jacket.
Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
I see. Well, it's good to know that we can... have we met before?
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago.
Let's not talk about my sister.
You were missing.
If you missed
and
the first part, I might have...
She must be very relieved.
Eaten her a bit. Yeah, she's so relieved. She's definitely
Are
dead.
you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by
Or a
so many
vampire,
corpses?
actually, to be fair.
Why should I?
I don't
These
know how
bodies
that
are
works in
empty
this
vessels.
mythology.
Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view.
But sometimes
And
dead
quite
flesh
an
gets
exotic
up
one,
and
too.
then bites you.
Most people fear or at least have a respect for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war,
Sure.
I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Solid.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Oh, that's surprisingly nice of Milton.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Trouble with that is,
Why do you have to watch
in the
these
middle of an
bodies?
epidemic.
Because
it's a little
these
bit
poor
unpleasant to be
fellows have
around
no names.
dead bodies.
We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
That sucks.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all
I
kind
still
of
don't
goods.
know what the goods are for, though.
Who comes here to trade with you?
'Cause
It's very unhygienic.
haven't quite grasped
even
the crafting
unsafe.
system yet.
Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
That's good.
What kind of goods?
With the
Nice.
quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not
Do you
afraid of dying,
believe in
do you
life
believe
after
in life
death?
after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short,
believe in life
and the
after death?
obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
Asking
I
for a
don't
friend.
think so. Don't mistake me. I love life and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really
What do you mean
believe
by that? Yeah.
goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness. I would be bored, or worse. And I like to be helpful.
The boredom of immortality
Quite
is
depressing,
an interesting
wouldn't you say?
Yes.
thought.
But the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, so...
I don't know. I feel like
So you're ready
there's
to die?
enough
No,
boredom in life
I'm
that
not.
maybe most people these days
I
could
don't
get
fear
through
death,
it.
for I won't see
I don't
it.
know.
What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
And
You're a
that is
wise man,
fair.
Mr.
Yeah,
Cherry.
absolutely.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think...
I like
otherwise.
Rakesh. Rakesh is good people. I
Please
hope.
show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
An enigmatic formula. Opium and codeine. Alright, well, good to know that that's there. The name of mercy, they depend on you. Nurses are needed now. Inquire at the nearest Labour and National... Alright, so I'm looking around for these vampire hunters. A crumpled letter! Dear love, I've found the missing money for the fee asked by the ambulance driver to bring you to the hospital. Don't worry about nothing now except getting better, for I took care of everything. I asked some of our neighbours and they told me that this Mr. Hooks is something of an honest crook. He may ask for extra money in exchange for a bed, but the bed is then guaranteed. I'm sorry I refused to pay first, and I realise now that the important thing is that you get better soon. The Pembroke Hospital is a good place, I heard, despite the bad behaviour of this Milton Hooks. I promise you that everything is okay now. I'll see you in your clean bed as soon as possible. With fondest love, Nikolai. It's unfortunate that he didn't get to. Or maybe he did get to, I don't know. And I'll take some money off of that guy. Milton? This is the second time we've heard about you charging for a bed. So we're going to have a quick combo. If we can. Wherever I'm going. All around the houses. Milton, there you are, buddy. Hey, man. Let's have
Good
a
evening,
wee
Milton.
chat.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Yeah.
Tell me why you're
Yeah, what's the deal with
extorting
this?
money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realised I could make a fortune.
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
Goodbye, Milton.
I can't do anything about it, apparently. But like, hey, stop that. City, you life saved by the official medical age is a blow struck at the flu epidemic. Volunteers make the difference. All right, so that's everyone and everything I can look at that way, and everyone I can look at this way. Apart from this room has people in it that I can't get to. Or a person in it that I can't get to. Who is definitely not... Yeah, she's in that room, so that's fine. Let's go upstairs to our office. Sorry, I know it's taking a while, but... They've got a little flirtation going on, the old soldier and vampire lady. And honestly, I think it's cute. Alright. Office on the second floor. Oh, this is Swansea's. Alright, Swansea. It's busy. That's okay. That door doesn't open. Oh, just taking a hacksaw. Sure. Bottle of cheap gin. No, thank you. That's locked. Hang on, this is not locked. I'm just gonna try and get whatever equipment and stuff we can. Is this me? No, it's Dr. Tippett, Strickland, and Aykroyd.
I cannot enter.
Thank you. Oh, this is me. This is my office.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own.
I need
At
to
least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
board up the windows a little bit more, I think, then. It is a rare opportunity and almost a privilege to approach a vampire, to observe their most intriguing physical and psychological traits with a scientific and rational eye. Here are some of the most fascinating abilities I've personally observed over the last 10 years while interviewing vampires or Econ, as they prefer to call themselves. Supernatural speed. A vampire can act and move like a mortal in all its actions, but the trained eye will spot that they have the keenest senses and can react quicker than any mortal. On a few occasions, alarm, surprise, necessity to flee, I have seen a vampire move so quickly, it is almost as if he had vanished just to reappear somewhere else. The human eye cannot follow their movements when they act so quickly. But it is not like a teleportation or dematerialization. It is only a supernatural speed. For me, it is a cat-like attribute, which allows them to run, dodge, jump longer and faster than us. I also noticed that such speed seems to exhaust them, and that they are bound to physical limitations. Mesmerism, one of the most powerful abilities a vampire can deploy, is the capacity to force a mortal to obey them. I call this trait mesmerism, but it has nothing to do with the immortal ability to alter a subject's mental state. A vampire can bend a mortal to their will, and they can even break a mind. A vampire I interviewed even told me that the more a subject tries to resist, the more permanent the damage will be, as if the vampire could literally fracture their target's psyche. The same vampire explained to me that this ability required time to master, and that the result could vary widely from one subject to another. Implant a false memory, erase a painful one. The possibilities are endless and frightening. Erase a painful one. Maybe we could do that for the poor bloke with the burns. Blood awareness. That may be the most catastrophic ability of all concerning vampires, since it's the cause of so many tragedies for them and us. Vampires crave for blood. They must use their will to restrain themselves from frenziedly drinking every drop of blood they can see. They need blood to function and to express their full supernatural traits. A famished vampire can be very weak, even if he cannot die of hunger or thirst. This urge, this need for blood, may explain why a vampire is so aroused by it. A vampire confessed to me that blood could sometimes blind him, since its smell and attractiveness can be so strong. When he focuses, a vampire can almost see blood all around them, inside warm bodies, through walls, on a supposedly clean weapon. The same vampire even told me that he can see if a mortal has clean blood or is ill, and that in some cases he can even sense diseases, infected clothes, or even items in a room. If this is true, it could have so many medical applications, it almost beggars belief. Yeah, we're gonna be Vampire Doctor. Give me some glass vials. I don't know why I want them.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Well, where's some water? Get me some water. Stat! I need water. No, that's not water. Get me water. How do I water this plant? I hear water trickling somewhere. It's raining. That's what I hear. Wait, I thought I couldn't open this. I tried to look at this a minute ago. Aluminium powder. Aluminium powder. Okay, I've got a sink. Can I have it? Do I need a bucket? How do I water the plant? Hang on, let me analyze this blood. Ooh, serums. What does this do? Light regeneration serum. Okay. Treatment for fatigue. I need quinine because William. No, not William. What's his name? The chap downstairs. He's not doing very well. Is. Sure, I mean, I'll recycle them.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching.
Dear Jonathan, I asked Nurse Crane to secure an office for you on the second floor. Please forgive the austere decoration, but Pembroke Hospital is not exactly the Ritz. Sorry to let you discover your office alone, but I need to sleep a little before going back to work. I'm just a mere mortal after all. I also gave orders to let you rest and for the staff to never ever enter your room. You will be able to sleep all day without being disturbed and work at night without raising any suspicion. I'm afraid the place is quite messy, but you'll be able to conduct your experiments here at your own pace. You'll also notice there is an open window with a scaffolding that will allow you to enter or exit the hospital without being noticed. I imagine how awfully new and disturbing this must all be for you. Believe me, I have studied enough of your species to understand what you must now be facing and feeling. Be assured, I'll do whatever I can to help you in this ordeal. Know that you are not completely alone in facing it. I'm glad I met you. In these dark times we are all presently facing. These are these dark times we are all... That's weirdly written. I'm glad I met you in these dark times we are all presently facing. I hope our future collaboration will yield great results. Welcome to Pembroke, my esteemed colleague. We shall talk soon. Yours sincerely, Edgar Griffith Swansea. P.S. I left a copy of some of my notes concerning what you've discovered about Econ in the last few years. Feel free to read about it, and if you need some guidance, as long as you don't use this knowledge to take advantage of me.
The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
I want to know how to water the plant, though.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
I'll figure that out later. Let's rest and evolve a little bit, shall we? Body and bite, plus 100% damage. I mean, I bite in combat quite a lot. Healing is actually probably better, though. Blood absorption, blood capacity. What have I got? I've got 1,500, almost 1,600. Is there a way of doing the thing that we talked about a second ago with maybe helping the chap? Right, well, we got 300, 600, so we can do 5. We can upgrade 5 things. So let's upgrade the biting damage. Oh gosh, we can make it so powerful. Big thirst. We drain more blood. Yeah, let's get some more blood out of that. Then we'll definitely upgrade our health and our endurance. Oh, science. Cartridge bag, medical bag. You can now carry 3 serums. Well, I'm not even shooting at the moment, so let's upgrade this. Let's carry more syringes. All right, that was a good effort. Have a nap and we'll wake up the following night. Oh, I hope I haven't missed the opportunity to do
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? The flower's dying. It needs water.
Okay, what about the... what am I looking for? The yes, okay. Oh, so they're all still here. That's fine. Enter the backyard garden. Reach the pharmacy. Wrong target. Let's do those first. But actually, let's leave that there for now. Feels like a reasonable time. Thank you so much for watching. I am very interested in all these like side missions and side quests and stuff like that. I want to know how to help the plant. I also want to know if I can help people with their like fatigue. If helping what's his face, the Wilfred, the person who's here with his mum, he's got fatigue when it shows up. So and I can make a cure for that. So maybe that will help. Who's to say? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this part, please do all the YouTubey things down below. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Leave a comment talking about whether you think you would be bored of being immortal. Whether you think immortality is more blessing than curse, or more curse than blessing. I'd love to hear about it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Be kind to yourselves. And be kind to each other. Because kindness is a choice. It's not always the easiest choice. But it is always the right choice. Take care.